Hi Gandhi class, welcome to your third Talk for Writing lesson this week. And our learning objective for today's lesson is, can I use similes? But what are similes? I want you to pause the video and have a discussion with somebody who is nearby to discuss what similes are. So pause the video to do that now. So similes are a way of describing something by comparing it to something else, using the words like or as. For example, the car was as fast as a cheetah. So we are comparing the speed of a car to the speed of a cheetah, which basically means it's really, really fast. Or we've got her eyes are like stars. So we're comparing how her eyes look to the way stars look, which kind of gives off the effect that her eyes are twinkling like stars. But why do we use similes? Again, pause the video to have a think or a discussion with somebody who is nearby and free to do so. Why do we use similes? So when you are describing something, you're trying to create a picture in the reader's mind, and similes are there to help you do this. So by using a simile, we create a really lovely image in the reader's mind. And they are most often used in stories and poems, so things that need a lot of description. So let's have a go at changing this boring sentence by adding in a simile. So the dog was big and fierce. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to add in an adjective to describe the dog a bit more. And then we're going to compare how big and fierce it is to something else. So the something dog was big and fierce like a, or the dog was as big and fierce as a. So you need to use the words like or as to compare the dog's bigness and fierceness to something else. So I want you to go and get your mini whiteboard and have a go at adding a simile to this sentence. Pause the video to do that now. Okay, so here we've got the strong black dog, so that's where we've added in our adjective, was as big, was as big as a wolf and fierce like a very angry bear. So we've compared how big he is to the size of a wolf, and we've compared his fierceness to an angry bear. The strong black dog was as big as a wolf and fierce like an angry bear. So that's our simile. We've got two in there. You don't always have to add two similes in, but for this one we did. Let's have a look at the next one. So the house was beautiful. Now again, I want you to add an adjective in here just to describe the house a bit more. You could talk about how big it is, how small it is, how old it is, something like that. And then you're going to add in a simile to compare how beautiful it is to something. So the something house was as beautiful as, the something house was beautiful like, and you need to use like or as when adding in a simile. So on your mini whiteboard, I want you to have a go at adding a simile to this sentence here. Pause the video to do that now. Okay, so the ancient house was beautiful like an old-fashioned painting. So we've described the house a bit more. We've said it's ancient, which means it's really old. And then we've compared its beauty to an old-fashioned painting by using that word like. It was beautiful like an old-fashioned painting. Okay, let's have a go at this one here. The man is tall. So again, let's find an adjective to describe the man. And then we need to use like or as to compare his height to something. So the something man is as tall as, or the something man is tall like. So pause the video to have a go at writing a sentence using a simile on your mini whiteboard. Okay, so the kind young man, so that's the adjectives we've used to describe what the man's like, is as tall as a giraffe. So we've compared his height to the height of a giraffe, which means he's very, very tall. So the kind young man is as tall as a giraffe. Okay, let's have a go at this one. So again, let's think of an adjective that we can add in to add a bit more information about what the balloon looks like. And then we need to compare the blueness of the balloon to something else that's blue. And we need to use the words like or as to compare the blueness of this balloon to something else. So pause the video now to have a go on your mini whiteboard. Okay, so the big round balloon, so that's how we've added more imagery to the balloon by saying it's big and round. And then we've compared its blueness to the sky. So the big round balloon is as blue as the sky. So we've compared how blue it is to the blueness of the sky. Okay, there are some activities for you to choose from. I want you to make sure that you are picking the activity that is most appropriate for you. So activity number 1, complete the sentences below by adding in similes. So number 1, the young lady sang like a. Now I've already put in that word like. You need to compare how her singing is. So the sang like a what? Number 2, Mrs. Mirza was as busy as a, and tell me how busy she is. And I've already put that as in for you there. Jessica is as brave as a, and tell me how brave she is. Compare her bravery to something. Zoe is as quiet as a, so compare how quiet Zoe is to something. And my bag was heavy like a, and compare how heavy the bag is to something else. So if you are completing activity number 1, please pause the video here to have a go at doing that. Okay, activity number 2, you need to fix my boring sentences by adding in adjectives and a simile. So you've got the fireworks were colourful. You need to add in an adjective to describe the fireworks a bit more. Don't use the word colourful as it's already here. And then you need to compare that word, how colourful it is, to something else that's colourful. So the something fireworks were colourful like a, or the something fireworks were as colourful as a. So you need to add in either like or as to compare how colourful the fireworks were. The night was dark, number 2. So again, you need to find a word to describe the night a bit more other than dark. And then you need to find a simile to compare the darkness to. So how dark was it? The something night was as dark as, or the something night was dark like. So you've got to think of a simile to compare the darkness of the night. Number 3, the moon was bright. So again, you need to think of a adjective here to describe the moon, and then tell me how bright it was by comparing it to something else by using like or as. Then we've got number 4, Mrs. Bowen's shoes sparkled. So again, give me an adjective maybe to describe her shoes, and then sparkled like what? Compare how they're sparkling to something else. And then we've got the old man is wise. So I've already given you that adjective there. You need to tell me how wise he is. And remember, you need to use like or as when you are writing a simile to describe something as being like something else. So pause the video here if you are going to be completing activity number 2. Okay, and activity number 3, using the pictures below, I want you to write similes about each one. Remember to use as or like, and also make sure that you're putting in some really good adjectives to describe it first. So just as we've done before, you would do the something cat is fierce as a, for example. So you need to use these pictures here to write similes about them. Please make sure you upload your work to Tapestry Gandhi class, and I will see you next time. Bye.